Hello, everyone, and welcome back to our math problem of the week. So, whether you agree with global warming or not, one thing is certain, we do need to be better stewards of the environment. So, I did some research, and according to some researchers, the data shows global tree restoration to be the most effective way to tackle climate change. You can read more about it on CNN. This article also adds that restoring the world's lost forests could remove 2/3 of all the planet warming carbon that is in the atmosphere because of human activity. So I was like, wow, that's pretty cool. I was going to give you guys a fraction problem since it's talked about 2/3, but reading the reports on the carbon output was a little difficult, so I decided to make it a little bit easier for you. So, where will they find all this land to reforest? Good question. So, the study found that the most of the land suitable for restoring forest trees are in 6 countries: Russia, USA, Canada, Australia, Brazil, and China. Okay. So, in Russia, which is has the most land, they said 151 million hectares, hectare, hectares. It's very hard to pronounce that one. Hectares, sorry, hectares. And then in USA, you have 103 million hectares. Canada are 78 million hectares. In Australia, you have 58 million hectares. In Brazil, you have 50 million hectares. And in China, there are 40 million hectares. Okay, so that's where they're going to find all that land. What's a hectare? Okay, that fancy word that I had a hard time pronouncing. Well, it's an international system of units, or what we call an SI. It's accepted by the metric system as a unit area equal to the square of 100-meter sides. Okay, so it's part of the metric unit system. Okay, well, that's nice, but in America, we don't use the metric system. We don't use SI unless you're in the sciences. So we actually use the United States customary system, or USCS or USC, things like feet, inches, and acres. So when you're reading this report, you're like, hectares, well, what does that mean for us? Everywhere else in the world uses the International System of Units or the metric system, but we use the United States customary system. So how do these hectares translate into acres? Well, that brings us to our math problem of the week. Okay, so a hectare is actually approximately 2.47 acres, or 107,639 square feet. Woo, that's a lot of space. So that's 1 hectare is approximately 2.471 acres. So here's our question. How many acres does the report say that USA have that is suitable for restoring forest trees? So let's go ahead and get our little pen out and let's take a look at it. So it said United States has 103 million hectares, okay? And it said that 1 hectare is approximately 2.47 acres. I don't know why I want to keep pronouncing it that way. But 1 hectare is 2.471 acres. So what I'm going to do is first write down how much United States has, right? So it has 103. I'm just going to put 103 for the hectare. I'm not going to put the million. I'm not going to put all the zeros. We just know that this is going to be millions, right? I'm going to put the H for the hectares, okay? And then we're going to have to create a conversion factor, okay? We're going to make this into a fraction. So it's either going to be 1 hectare over 2.471. I need to get a pen. 2.471 acres. So that's one conversion factor, or I could flip it. It could be 2.471 acres, right? Over one hectare. How do I figure out which one of these fractions to use? Well, what am I trying to cancel out? I'm trying to cancel out the hectares, right? So if one is in the numerator, I want the other one to be in the denominator so I can cancel it out. So since this hectare is in the denominator, this is a conversion factor that I'm going to use. So I'm going to multiply 103 hectares by 2.471, and I'm just speaking slowly because I'm writing slowly, acres over 1 hectare. Okay. Now I'm going to go ahead and put the first fraction, I'm going to go ahead and put that over 1. So you see that it's a fraction. So 103 hectares, I'm going to put that over 1. And I'm simply going to multiply straight across. Before I multiply, I'm going to check my units though. 1 hectare divided by a hectare, they cancel out. So now all I'm left with is acres. So that's working out pretty good. So now I'm going to say 103 times 2.471. And I get 254.513. So let me write that down. So I get 254, that's just 0.513. And if you remember, we were talking about millions. So that's how many million acres United States has. It's a lot of acres for reforestation. I'm going to type that. Taking too long to write it. So how many acres does the United States have that's suitable for reforestation? According to the report, 254.513 million, because remember, it's millions that we're talking about, acres. Okay, so that's the first part of our question. I gave you guys multiple parts here, multiple parts because I wanted to challenge you a little bit with this math problem of the week. I'm going to delete these drawings right here. Oops. Taking a little bit longer. All right, but I'm still going to keep those conversion factors. Oops. Oh, is my computer freezing up on me? Don't freeze, computer, don't freeze. Let's hope not. Alrighty. I guess maybe it is. Stay tuned for part 2 of our math problem of the week.